you do not have to have heavyweight marketing to be successful. In fact, like if you really want to be successful, you need to do the exact opposite. Like you need to be able to pivot on a dime. Hey, what's going on, experts? Joel Irway here. Welcome to another very special quarantine edition of Sold with Webinars. We are joined today by somebody who I'm extremely excited to chat with. We have a guest interview today. His name is Cody Neer. Cody joined my high ticket courses program a couple of months ago, and I'd seen Cody around. We've been Facebook friends. You know, it's one of those things where you're internet connected and you're socially connected. And when he joined the program, I was excited to have him aboard, but we had never connected, personally. So I had reached out a couple months after he joined the program. And I said, "Hey man, I just wanted to check and see how things were going." And I get a lot of feedback from customers, and there's all sorts of results that some of our customers get. But Cody stood out for something that I preach. I preach it as much as I possibly can, but he's, as far as I know, the only one who has executed like he has. And so I don't want to ruin it just yet. I want to give it a little bit of a teaser, but Cody, welcome, man. I'm excited to have you on the podcast.
Joel, I appreciate it, man. It's awesome to be here.
When we dive into this discussion, this conversation, the big theme of what I talk about with high ticket courses, with mini webinars, with power offers is what it's allowed me to do is just be agile and be light, right? Because we still run the webinar agency. I have my own long form webinars, but for crying out loud, and I'll be the first to tell you, they're a bear. They are building the Titanic and hoping that it will float, right? It's a lot of effort, and yes, they're the holy grail of marketing. And once we get that dialed in, then great, a long form webinar is perfect. But the best part about mini webinars and power offers is it allows you to pivot. It allows you to rapid fire and test. And you have kind of taken that to a whole nother level with testing and validating offers. Can you give us a little bit of background about what you did with the program?
Yeah, absolutely. So I obviously I have the digital marketing background. I'm familiar with building and growing and selling physical products online, being an e-commerce. I've never been much of an info product person, but December of last year had the opportunity to get out of some of my e-commerce businesses. And that led me literally straight to who am I going to find that's going to put me where I can sell my information at scale the fastest. And that's where, like you said, we were internet connected, and I was like, well, duh, let me just hit up Joel and got a high ticket courses. And followed went through the blueprint, the steps, went through the entire program. And something I had put together is called eCommerce Brand Academy. And inside this quote unquote academy, I had all these courses. And I thought, in order for me to sell products online, I got to have all these courses. And I got to have, a course that does this, and a course that does that, and a course that does this. And then I tried to sell that, and I was like, why isn't anyone buying it? And when I hit this part called the power offer, it's like one sentence offer. What do you have to give them? I was like, well, duh, that's what I'm missing. And that's really what stuck. And as I put this together, I found out every single course inside this academy hit a different person in a different way. So therefore, instead of just selling a broad e-commerce training, I went from selling, let me show you how to start your own print-on-demand brand. Let me show you how to run Facebook ads to scale physical product sales. Let me show you how to get on Amazon with print on demand. Let me show you how to leverage Amazon by selling dropship products. Let me show you how to sell high ticket. And all these different iterations of these courses I had turned into these power offers. And therefore a power offer turned into my mini webinar. And next thing you know, I had dozens of iterations of my mini webinar out there. And I had not just leads, but I had calls being booked, and then I had sales being made, and then I had execution on the back end. And like you said, when we chat last, first time we chatted, it was 7. Then it was 9 because I was still pushing through. But now I have put together, we have 21 courses. I have 21 power offer mini webinars put together for every single angle inside this academy. And it's by far the easiest, most efficient way to sell my e-commerce training, because I stop focusing on selling broad and I go to this, just what the end user wants, what the buyer wants, and give them that, as you call it, the power offer in every single piece to my puzzle I had put together in this academy. And yeah, man, it couldn't have been any more efficient. And it really, I mean, I went from December of not knowing how to do this, struggling in December, thinking I knew what the hell I was doing, and then hit you in January and was like a very short learning curve to put together a mini webinar and a power offer. So now we're at 21 iterations of a mini webinar power offer for the academy.
So when we chatted, you said you had 9 iterations of the power offer and you had sold all 9.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. It wasn't a matter of putting the sales together. It was more a matter of what did I want to be fulfilling and how did I want to fulfill in the back end. And that's what I learned fast was this is yes, get the offer out there, but then again, learn as fast as I could on what exactly I was going to be able to deliver the most efficient, what fit me and my team and what I'm most passionate about. So I put an offer out there, sell it, execute on it, realize, okay, let me change this, change that, change this. And yeah, I mean, really it's the back end execution that gave me the flexibility, as you were saying, to make these changes fast.
Yeah. So that is what I want to highlight. So it is April 9th, 2020 today. So let's just say December. So yeah, January, February, March, and April. That's 4 months. And you've gone through 21 different iterations of your power offer. And what you said earlier is so important, because so many people think that like their idea is what they're going to want to scale to the moon before they validate. But like, you got to actually enjoy what you fulfill on, which is another reason why you should be lightweight, why you need to be flexible, why you need to be able to pivot on a moment's notice. Because if you sell something, like, you don't know what type of customer is going to come through the door, especially if it's just a first idea. Like, you want to know, like, okay, cool. Like, let's work with this one customer, this one client, and let's see how it goes. And you've pivoted dozens of times and you're making your way through it and you're being profitable, like you're making money. And this is an excellent teaching lesson. So what have you learned on the fulfillment side that you enjoy doing and you don't enjoy doing? Because you've gone through a ton of iterations, so you should have some great insight on this.
That's an awesome question, because the very first time I put my offer out there, I thought in order for me to sell, number one, a high ticket offer, and number two, have a power offer, I thought I had to sell my time the most. And so when I started, I was selling, hours of my time consulting one-on-one with people and then fulfilling on that. And I realized, whoa, this isn't something that's, number one, scalable, but something that I could do physically, mentally, emotionally, long-term. So I pivoted to the next one. Okay, let me put this in a group setting. And then went from the group setting to let me get in a group setting where I'm in there only once a week, where I have my team in there helping me. And then given it maybe some, I created a ticket system now where people can ask questions through a ticket system, to where I don't even have to go in there once a week. I can just see a ticket system and make sure these tickets are getting answered. But for me, I wanted to make sure the most value for the person that was buying was being delivered. So I thought at the very beginning I personally had to provide the value. But what I've come to find out, though, is that my power offer, what I asked them or told them I was going to deliver, that was the number one thing that had to, be clear for them. And as long as I can make sure I put together both online access, course portal, and some kind of support system that made sure they got to that power offer as fast as possible, and they could reach their, my guarantee, their end goal, that my time wasn't the most important thing to sell. It was actually just the execution of the power offer. That was really the biggest thing. And we say the power offer, that's literally, what I took away from this entire program was, here's what you're going to get, and here's why, or here's how, and even here's when, or here's how, like, what's the date, what's the end date you're going to get it by. And, it was a very simple model to follow, to be honest with you. So that's what I learned the most, is that I don't have to sell, from my time to, constant energy, to the flow of my energy of my focus. I didn't have to sell those things to make this thing work. People find value in what they thought they were going to buy in the power offer. And as long as they get that, that's really what they wanted.
Oh, so of the 21 offers, like what has been, so I want to ask a couple of questions here because you have some great data. So what was the easiest one to sell?
The easiest one was, can I build you a print-on-demand brand in 30 days or less? And when I said can I meant like literally, can I build your store, create your designs, choose your niche? My mini webinar was like, I will do all of this, this, and this. That was the easiest one to sell because literally it was like hands off, but it was literally the most work.
Yeah.
So then I changed that from I to we, and and when I changed it from I to we, that was a change in my power offer of being quick to change it. Changed the mini webinar literally where it was just I'll do this to we will do this, or I was like, oh, I could sell that too. So it was still as easy as the I, but then what I realized was I didn't have to change too much again to where I said I will give you the tools to build this. And then it went from I to we to I'm going to give you all the tools you need. And it didn't change my conversion rate from where I was doing all the work to where they were doing all the work.
Interesting.
But it took the change, my evolution, evolving down the line of just my mini webinar of going from where I do the work, we do the work, to where you'll do the work and we'll help you support, we'll support you. And in the scheme of it, all 21 of those iterations now go along with, I'm going to give you the tools to be able to do this. Very much, I mean, it was kind of a slap in the face. I looked at High Ticket Course and I was like, Joel's not doing this for me. So like, and then his team's not doing this for me, but he just gave me the tools. And I was like, well, duh, why don't I just follow what he did for me with the High Ticket Courses? So it took me, I wasn't that person to be able to sell both my course and my information when I started. But we've done well into six figures in a few months with our high ticket courses. And it gives us a massive lead flow, being able to cover our front end cost with advertising, being able to sell. Man, I went from selling $40 hats where I had to cover a CPA of like $30 to making $5 per hat sale in e-commerce to where now I'm selling a $5,000 program and I'm covering $100 to $200 application fee. Makes a world of difference when you're going to scale an offer online.
That's awesome, man. So what other, so have you done 21 iterations of the print on demand store, or have you
So in the academy, we have print on demand, and I'll be cheesy about it, but all of our course names, which you trademarked the e-commerce secrets brand, is print on demand e-commerce secrets, Amazon e-com secrets, Facebook ads e-com secrets, high ticket e-com secrets, Etsy e-com secrets, Pinterest e-com secrets. So we have the e-com secrets is whatever your channel, your marketplace, your angle, your plan of attack is, wherever you're at, whatever way you want to go sell information, or physical products. I'm selling information, they're selling physical products. Whatever way you want to sell the physical product online, we have the tools and the resources to give you to show you how to go sell those. So our mini webinars are basically saying we're going to give you the tools to be able to go in any channel, any marketplace, any ad platform, and help you scale or grow your physical product sales. So our courses are not just here's how you run a Facebook ad, but it's more so here's how you run a Facebook ad for selling physical products in ClickFunnels, those type of things, and that's the power offer. But we just get a little more niche down in our power offer sentence, our one sentence offer. And we hit those people who are like, exactly what I want to do. I want to sell, one product inside ClickFunnels. That's what I want to do. Leveraging Facebook ads. Perfect. So that's what our Facebook ad that's what our Facebook ad said for our power offer on our mini webinar. So.
And are you selling all of those high ticket courses for 5K, roughly 5K?
So we have we sell the individual, just the course access, where you literally just log into the course access for less than 5K. But our core, we're just course access, our core program where we give you the group and the help is at 5K. And Yeah, all of these ads are running. So there's 21 power offers out there, and we're getting an average of about $180 an application. Our sales guys are super happy. Even now during this COVID virus thing, their schedules are booked. Converting roughly about 15%. So not terrible, not great, but I mean, I'd say that's enough to keep the lights on and make a lot of money. So, yeah, and then the execution really is simple because inside of our members group on Facebook, all of the courses are being taught in there. All of them being shared. We have our lives in there, and I have a good team that each of them has their own knowledge that they bring in there. So I get to focus on the front end of bringing in leads and running the ads, and they can focus on the back end, which is something I learned over the course of changing my offer.
Yep.
When I was on there saying I'll do this, people were like, "Well, where's Cody? He said he was going to do it." Now it's and now it's we're just going to give it to you. So pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing. Like once you really start to understand promises, you start to really figure out what they really want. And yeah, it's really sexy to say I, and if that's really what you're doing, then like I would say lead with it because it's the most valuable and everyone wants to buy you, the expert. But is it required? No, it's not. Like simple pivots show that all they really care about is what is that end promise that you're going to give them. Like, okay, cool. Launch my Facebook ads, make whatever, like 2x, 3x on my Facebook ads. Like, okay, cool. If I can get that, I'll be happy. I don't care how it happens. All I care is that it happens. Like you tell me how to do it and I'll do it. How much were you selling these individual courses before? Like before you went the high ticket route? Like you said you already had this stuff built.
Oh man, sadly, some of these courses were $97, and
So
I was doing,
I
was doing a lot more work at $97 selling these courses because sure everyone buys $97 and they get in and they're everybody and their brothers in there at $97.
Yep.
And even then, I couldn't be profitable on my Facebook ads at $97 selling information product. And then I tried $297, and then $997, and then $997 with this long webinar that took 2 hours and a big old stack and all this other stuff everyone teaches, which is great, but not great when I didn't prove the actual offer yet. So,
yep.
Yeah, I felt like I went totally backwards. Started the wrong way. If I'd have started high in high ticket prices and then figured out what gets people to convert with this, the power offer. Now it's a lot easier. Now I'm actually running my course only ads where I'm just on the course. They don't get anything else, just the course, no Facebook ads, no Facebook group, no support, no nothing. They just get the actual course. And it's profitable because I know exactly what to say. Like I know exactly what the power offer is. Because I've had a lot of conversations with people. Our team has a lot of conversations with people through getting these applications. And then we tested our mini webinar power offer, all of them quite often.
Yep.
I mean, we pivot them almost daily. So it makes it pretty nice. Now we feel pretty good where I'm like, don't change it anymore. Don't touch it. It's doing really good. Just leave it be. Unless Facebook does something crazy, then we're good.
Yeah. If you're listening right now, like, I don't want you to think that it's that simple. I mean, like no one normally is going to test 21 versions in 3 to 4 months, but high achievers, like they know what levers to pull. And once you realize like, okay, damn, like I just upped my price from $97 to $5,000 or $97 to $2,000, like whatever you're selling your DIY course at, like 10x literally. I mean, like just changing the game for the revenue stream and getting a better customer, easier to convert, less to fulfill on. Like there's so many benefits to that. And
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm really efficient at building, funnels and really efficient at filming my webinars and writing my scripts. And I feel decent at writing copy. Like I'm not a complete newbie at this, but I feel like anybody who has a little bit of knowledge of those things can put together their power offer pretty quickly and launch their offer and start making those iterations. One thing I failed at was literally when I started was I thought that this is what I sell. This is how I sell it. This is what it is. This is how it's going to be sold. And then when I went into this, I was like, no, it's not at all. Let the customer tell me how I'm going to sell it. Let them tell me what they react to. Let them tell me, what triggers them. And I could do that quick, literally by just changing what my offer was. And I mean, shooting a 2-hour webinar is a pain in the ass, but shooting a 15, 25-minute mini webinar, that's easy. I can do that all day, 10 times over. But with nonstop, so that makes it simple.
Yep. So what piece of advice would you give people who are like considering, getting into this game, launching their own high-take course, like knowing what you know now, like what is that one piece of advice that you'd share with them?
So my piece of advice is that there's enough people out there that don't know what you know. And no matter how the things that you take the most for granted, no matter how much you think you know about them and that everyone else knows about it, sure, 999 people out of 1,000 will know what that is, but there's that one person, and it only takes that one person to scale the offer.
Mm-hmm.
If you can sell a $5,000 course to where 1,000 people see your offer, just if you mathematically speaking on ads, if 1,000 people hit an impression and you sell 1 out of 1,000 at $5K, you can do that. But if you're selling 1 out of 1,000 at $97, you're not gonna be able to do that very long. So the fact that you have your high ticket offer, meaning it's, 2,500, $3,000, $5K, something like that, and you have your core piece of information that you feel really strong about, you can teach. There are enough people out there, no matter how simple you think that information is, that want to learn about it. You just have to figure out, again, what's the power offer? What is the trigger? What's the one sentence that gets those people, to book a call or to click buy or to want to have a conversation with you? That's what I learned, is that, I'm not selling, stuff that you can't find on YouTube or Google and all that stuff, but I'm just putting it exactly, very simplistic terms. Here's what you're going to get. I'm going to help you get there. I make them feel very confident about choosing me to be the one that shows them how to get there. So,
yeah, if you think about it, like it's hard to imagine that one sentence is all it takes. Like 1 to 2 sentences is all it takes, meaning at the root cause, nobody cares about you, the expert. All they care about is themselves. So what does that mean? They care about what can you do for them. And that is really all it takes. And that's why we distilled it down to that power offer. It was, once I realized like all they care about is like, what can they get out of this relationship? Like the game changed. I still can't believe you've done 21 power offers. Like that still blows my mind. Like,
yeah, I went from having hundreds of eCommerce stores to manage to not having any. So I had a lot of time in my hands. I mean, in an 8-hour day, you could put together quite a few power offers.
Yep.
So
cool. Well, awesome, dude. Cody, my goal with this conversation was for people to listen. I want them to listen right now and understand that, like, you do not have to have heavyweight marketing to be successful. In fact, like if you really want to be successful, you need to do the exact opposite. Like you need to be able to pivot on a dime. I'm not saying you need to make 21 power offers. I'm not saying you need to test all that stuff, but like understand what we're doing with a power offer, understand what the purpose is with our mini webinars, which is to educate these prospects, like minimal amounts of education. Like the only things we really want to do in a mini webinar is say, okay, cool. I understand what your promise is. Now tell me more. Like, okay, cool. You want to learn a little bit more? Here's, the bare bones of like how we're going to get to this process. In your, one last question for you, in your mini webinar, do you focus on like unique mechanisms and methodologies, or like, what is it, it's hard for me to ask, what do you teach in your 21 power offers, but like, my belief is that unique mechanisms and methodologies are like the core of what really gets people to say like, okay, yep, I want that, because those are unique differentiators. So do you talk about that within your mini webinars for every single one?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say the answer is yes. They're very much the same. because we're teaching e-commerce. So like you said, it's very simple. My goal is to just get you to say, yes, you want to learn more. So the reality is the power offer changes for all different angles. My core thing is I'm going to teach you how to sell a product using an offer, running an ad. That's literally the three little part thing in all of the power offers and all of the mini webinars. And it just changes from, product offer ad from Facebook, product offer ad using ClickFunnels, product offer ad using Amazon, product offer ad using, Pinterest, product offer ad using whatever it is, in the e-commerce, whatever channel it is, you got to have a product to sell. You got to, put an offer out there in front of people so they can see that you're selling something. And in order to scale it or make money, you have to use an ad that you pay to put in front of somebody. That's it. That's exactly what these mini webinars say, over and over and over again. Which I got to that part by testing a bunch, by going through a few. What's the 100 people see the offer, and what's a really bad conversion rate? Like an average conversion rate. What is it? 2%?
Yeah.
So if I have 100 people come through my offer and 2% buy, then I think, okay, good. But if I have none, then I change it. That's our baseline. So with an ad, I could run 100 people through an offer pretty quick. And then if I got 2 sales, I'd say, okay, it's working. How do I make this better and make iteration? If it didn't work at all, we'd make a big pivot fast. So it was a numbers game from there. But the 3 things are just have a product to sell, have an offer to put out there of that product. And then if you want to scale it to the moon, you can use ads. And then it doesn't matter what platform. The offer itself, the channel of the mini webinar, it changes based on if the person came in saying, yeah, I want to do Amazon, or yeah, I want to learn Etsy, or yeah, Pinterest, or, Google Ads, or Bing, or whatever it is that they had their trigger, whatever trigger their fancy at the front end. But when they get in, it's all very much a similar thing. And yeah, I have, I give a little thing of like, book the call now and you get, you'll get whatever is inside of our program, our courses and stuff. I'll give them a little snap of that. But I followed the offer thing to a T inside high ticket courses. I didn't try to add a whole bunch of like free stuff. And I tried that at the beginning. It didn't work great. And if I did, I realized all I was doing was passing out free stuff all day. So, I actually took out all that and just went back to simple. Like, here's the power offer. Here's a few people that took me up on it. Here's how this power offer works. Book a call. That's pretty much it.
Pretty simple, huh?
I mean, it sounds like I feel terrible because I feel like I'm making it too simple. But, I mean, it's just here's what you're asking for. Here's how we're going to do it. And if you want to learn more, like, book the call. And I mean, I think I could do this so fast is because I'm not smart. So therefore I'm not smart enough to make it really complicated. So to my benefit and everyone else's, if you don't know how to do any of this stuff, it's actually to a benefit because you don't have to overthink it. Just create your offer, put your 3 parts together, and then tell someone to click the book a call or learn more. Makes it nice, simple.
Love it, dude. Yeah. So just to recap, I mean, God, it's all about being lightweight, guys. If you're listening right now, it's all about being able to pivot because you don't really know what people are going to respond to. That's the whole premise of this. Like, you really don't know what people want. Sure, we can get really, really close by getting clear on our messaging, but let them tell you what they want. Let them tell you exactly what they want to buy. Cody, man, I appreciate you hopping on. I appreciate you sharing your story. I don't think anybody's going to break your record. 21 power offers in 3 months is pretty incredible. You blew past 6 figures, which is fantastic. Thank you for sharing your story, man. If anyone is interested in e-commerce, where can they connect with you?
eCommerceBrandAcademy.com. I have everything, all these courses and everything that we're talking about here. If you want to jump in there, yeah. eCommerceBrandAcademy.com.
Awesome. All right. So if you are interested in that, please go check out what Cody is putting together. And also, if you heard him on this podcast and you like what you hear, just reach out to him and say, hey, Cody, I heard you on Sold webinars. Give him some love, give him a shout out and check out his stuff. Cody, thanks again, man. I appreciate you. And if you're listening right now, feel free to, give us a rating on iTunes. That'd mean the world for us. Help us get more exposure, and we'll see you on the next episode. Take care.